So about 6 years ago, I got a DUI. I think I was 20.
20?
I was about 20, yeah.
Okay.
And
you're not 26.
I'm 26 this month.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
Time friggin' flies. I know. So I got a DUI. Basically, I had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't even remember the amount. I want to say maybe $1,000 on, like, not even including a lawyer.
Jesus.
And everything. I had to do all of the, like, sit in on the victims of drunk driving, things like the moms who had lost kids, which was, like, I kind of went in there, like, you know, I was fucking 20 years old. I was an alcoholic. I was just like, fuck this. That was devastating.
Oh,
like,
it's horrible.
That was so upsetting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
God, and I felt so bad for those women. And, like, don't do it. But also, it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And so I did this. This was in Washington State.
Yeah.
And they really fucked me over. And this was 6 years ago. My period of, like, not having super high fucked up insurance just, like, ran out. So I took all my tests today. I got my license, which is great.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. So I'll drive us to Seattle.
Yeah, we're going to a concert in Seattle. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
But I still have to have my blow and go for 4 months and pay for that.
Is that expensive?
Not very.
Okay.
But it's, like, lame.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, though. I think, like, a lot of people should have that in their cars.
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I mean, I just quit drinking.
That's another really smart
like
thing.
A lot of people don't do that after their DUI. But, like, I also forgot to mention kind of buried the lead. I spent 3 days in jail.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like,
how was that?
That was kind of fun.
Was it?
Yeah, it was fine. Like, everyone was pretty nice.
Because everyone's nice, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah,
we're in jail.
This is kooky.
Whoa.
And I made some friends. I got actually offered to be blessed into a gang by a guy named Angel Flow.
Wow.
Shout out to Angel Flow.
Shout out Angel Flow.
Do you know what that blessed into a gang means?
Do you get bonked in the
butthole? You don't get any bonked.
Oh.
You're just, like, kind of like an honorary.
I almost got that too.
Yeah?
When I was in middle school.
Whoa.
Yeah, there was this Mexican.
The Freakas Chicas?
No, there's this Mexican
That's my gang.
Freakas Chicas?
No, that's from American Dad.
Freakas Chicas. No, there was this Mexican gang, and this guy named Anthony and I were kind of, like, flirty. I remember he told me I had the smallest ass he's ever seen in his life.
Aww.
That was when I was in middle school.
That's actually how Thomas proposed to me.
Oh, you have the smallest butt I've ever seen, and I love you so much. Yeah. But I was also, like, 2 pounds at that point. But he said, hey, yo, like, I don't know if you're into this or not, but, like, I got this thing going. He basically, you know, proposed the situation.
Right.
And I was like, I don't really feel comfortable doing that, so it just didn't happen.
Okay.
But I did get the offer, which was nice. Thanks for the offer. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, no thanks, dog. That's
Thank
no for
you.
me, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also, like, very white, and I was, like, lanky and a ballet dancer. Like, I don't think I really have anything to offer you.
Yeah, you don't want any, like...
There's nothing I could give you.
There's nothing here for you.
If you want me to jeté my way to the top...
No one wants.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
So, move along.
Next item on the issue.
Was that the PSA? Don't drink and drive?
Don't drink and drive. It's fucking expensive.
It's so expensive.
I did that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And, like, thousands of dollars later, and, like, insurance premiums, and, you know, I still have to do my blow and go, and I had to take a new drive test.
Oh, it's fucked.
And, like,
and I'm not going to get, like, too personal, but I will say several people in my family and my life have been killed by drunk drivers.
Yeah.
So it's like, just don't do it. It's devastated people's lives.
And there's just, like, no excuse to.
No, there isn't. Like, especially
in this
now.
day and age.
Yeah, it's like there's Uber and Lyft and all that. Like, there's so many, and they're not even that expensive.
You know what? If you can't afford an Uber, you can't afford to go out drinking.
Absolutely.
Is what I say.
Oh, I can't.
Crucify me.
I can't afford an Uber. Well, you just spent $60.
But you just spent $16 kamikaze.
So what are you doing?
What are you talking
about? Save up for that Uber.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
Stupid. So that's good.
Great. Well, cops?
Yeah, so cops was something I wanted to talk about.
Cops was on the agenda.
I just feel like I've gone up and down with cops throughout my life. I've always been afraid of them ever since I was a kid.
Do you remember that time that you got pulled over
on
your bike?
Yes.
By a cop? Because you and I would sneak off and...
So we snuck off in the middle of the night and like tried to meet, and we didn't even meet each other that night. I remember. I like got on my bike to go meet you.
Did we just go?
And you canceled on. You were like, no, something, you just, something happened. But anyway, I was riding on my bike and it was like 1 a.m. or something. And, I'm in high school and this cop was on the side of the road. He's like, hey, he just like yells at me. So I'm like a little freaked, but I felt like, I don't know why, I was just like really sassy that day. So I came up to him.
Feeling sassy.
I was super sassy and he was like, are you the one that's been riding around here doing this every night? And I was like, no. Like really rude, which I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. It's like rude. But he like back, like he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
sorry,
like,
miss.
He backtracked and he's like, oh,
good.
No. And then we ended up having like just a conversation, like just talking
okay,
happily. And then it was like, oh, okay, good night.
Last time I got stopped by a cop, I was walking home and he just like started grilling me.
Yeah, like what is
that?
Like
who I am and where I'm going. And I was like, okay, why do you need to know? Like who are you?
Yeah, stop.
Who are you to ask?
Leave me alone.
You got all C's in high school. What are you asking me about where I'm going?
So I've had this attitude about cops where I'm just like over it with them. I'm scared of them. I think that they're
intimidating,
power
for sure,
hungry.
Because I have always maintained that I feel like it takes a very specific type of douchebag to even want to do that.
And that's okay. So this is what I've always said, right? I'm like, it takes a specific type of like hall monitor,
exactly,
like piece of shit,
like some type of authoritative,
somebody who wants authority over other people to get this job.
Right.
Okay, but I turned a little bit of a new leaf.
Oh yeah,
recently, yeah, because
please tell me about that, Lainey.
I've always had that idea of like cops are trash and like kind of fuck cops a little bit.
Cops, classier.
Trashy, right? So I've always had that like fuck them, and people are hating, especially now people are hating the cops.
Yeah.
And then like,
I mean, it's not new, but
it's not new. That's true. But I was like driving the other day, and
which is what makes me hate them now even more, because it's like in this day and age, especially to be a cop.
But then here's my thing with it, right? This is where I'm coming to a new place with this. Mm-hmm. Because we were driving the other day and we let a cop in, and he gave us this little signal like, thank you for letting. He looked like such a nice man.
He ended racism.
No, but listen, he looked like such a nice man, and I was like, you know what? We need to stop hating cops, because what's going to happen is the only people who then want to become cops are the douchebags who are going to like abuse it and be pieces of shit. And maybe we should encourage people like, hey, being a cop can be a really nice thing if you actually care about helping people.
I think that's really idealistic.
Why can't that happen though? Why can't we just have a better
I mean, we're on the same page.
Because here's the thing.
You don't have to yell at me.
Here's the thing. In this fuck cops world, mm-hmm. What is the alternative? Like, what do you guys have for us?
Self-government.
Oh, so there's just no cops.
All cops are bastards.
All cops are assholes. We have no regulation whatsoever. There's nobody to help anybody.
No, I think what they're saying is more regulation.
Who?
Whoever's saying fuck cops.
Oh, they're saying we want more?
They're saying we want them like trained properly.
No, I don't think that's what they're saying.
I think that is
they're
what
saying,
everyone is saying.
No.
They're saying we want well-trained cops like that can handle crisis situations without pulling out their gun. Did you know that the Japanese police shot one person last year or the year before that?
Look at that. Like, that's amazing.
One person.
And see, we have a major issue in this country with
like
violence, guns,
1,000 people have one person has probably been shot.
Like right now. I know, and this is what I'm saying. Like this is why I think we need to have a better dialogue about cops, because we need to reframe it, and it needs to not be just like this violent.
You need to see it as an opportunity.
Yeah, see it as like a positive.
I saw a child care thing that was like, don't think of your child as misbehaving. Think of them as struggling to adapt to a situation.
Yeah, and you have to help them.
And you have to help them.
Steer them in the right direction.
So you don't have to like discipline them necessarily.
You don't just say, no, you're a fucking idiot. You don't do that. You don't say, stop misinterpreting the world around you. You go, hey.
Say, hey, this is what's happening.
This is what's actually happening. And let's talk about it that way.
Yeah, it's chill.
And that's all you need to do. And then guess what? Then people aren't so angry, and then you don't get just the douchebags going into this field.
And I do agree that obviously situationally, independently, there are good people who are cops that genuinely want to make a difference. Like, I know someone who may be like a genuinely good person, or does a good job at least.
Right.
He's good at his job, maybe. But like, still, I was talking to someone and I was saying, like, he may independently be a good cop or whatever, but he's in a rural town. Like, that those other cops are talking about like grabbing women by the pussies.
Oh yeah, totally.
Being good old boys.
Totally
doing whatever, and like those are his colleagues, and that's like who he is.
I know, and that's really,
and like he's chosen to stay there and like rise in those ranks,
right?
And like when he could have
left,
could do anything.
And I do know some people who are cops or were cops, and they're just like, even if I don't want to say that they're like. They're obviously not bad people, because the people I'm describing are like genuinely good people, but they maybe were like a little bit ignorant about certain things at different times.
Absolutely.
But then like now I've talked to them later and they've been like, I was really ignorant about this back then.
The most beautiful,
isn't that amazing?
Innocent, like wonderful type of person.
Amazing.
That can admit their weaknesses and grow. And like listen and learn.
So when I was in New York, Manhattan, I was with my boyfriend's family. It was really sweet because a member of his family said that they're from rural, like South, and he was saying like the first time a gay dude approached him, he first of all didn't even really know what. Like gay. I mean, he knew what being gay was, but he had never like faced it really before. And this guy was approaching him, and so he was like, so what I did was I just like hit him because I didn't know. Like I was like, get away from me, because he was like scared by it and he didn't understand. He didn't like it. And then now he was the one taking us to gay bars in New York.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And he's like, I just didn't understand. Like I just literally did not understand it.
That's so just like as a person who identifies as gay or queer or whatever, that's insane to me.
No, I know.
Just can't understand that mentality at all.
This is what
or like being raised that way, or like thinking that way.
This is what people need to understand, though, and this is what pisses me off.
I have pretty conservative parents.
Totally. No, this is what pisses me off, though, about some people, honestly, here in the Northwest, is like there's a lot of people who are really shitty about other people who didn't grow up like them. Like, honestly, these people are talking like we need to be, inclusive and like have this dialogue about, what, like being open to stuff. But then they would talk to somebody like that and be like, he's a piece of shit homophobe. And it's like, hold on though. He didn't grow up privileged in the Pacific Northwest with like wealthy parents going to college. He grew up in rural town where people don't even know about this shit. And then you explain it to them or you show them, then finally he like actually was around gay people.
I had the same experience when I was living in Virginia for a bit.
Oh, yeah?
I went out to West Virginia, which is just, I I'm sorry.
Isn't it White and Wonderful, the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia or something like that?
Know,
if you haven't seen that, it's really
like
good.
Bum fuck.
Yeah. You got to see the Wonderful